Who's this Jimmy? Who are you talking about? Jimmy Witherspoon?
Nobody knew who he was.
Lewis.
Jimmy.
Who's this Jimmy?
Lewis.
Jimmy.
Who's this Jimmy?
Jimmy Lewis.
Who's this Jimmy?
Lewis.
Who's this Jimmy?
just kept on going.
Welcome to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. That means it's Tuesday.
That means it's we're going to talk about motorcycles and motorcycle-related products. I'm here tonight with Marco Henriksen and his beautiful wife, Jenny, who had the pleasure of going riding dirt bikes today. A little bit?
Yeah.
Such a pleasure.
Yeah, it was really nice. Thanks. The best high-performance vehicle is a borrowed one.
Matt, and I'll just let you know that Jenny photo modeled your TTR 230 today.
Perfect.
Yeah, she was ripping it. I dressed her up in some new moose gear, and it matched her goggles.
Nice gear.
Nice gear, and we got a couple little photos and little video clips. Edgy Beats, says Chris Dabney. Edgy Beat. That's the.
Is there music that I can't hear? Is that
There was like the whole intro is this thing. It has like, it's some weird Bob Marley mix with some Jimi Hendrix into it, and then there's panic revs and stuff. It was in one of my when I was playing with the controls and stuff. So hot seat hotline link. Bringing you around. This is show 190, Matt?
191.
No, 191.
Yep.
I don't have the questions printed out.
Oh, you don't?
No. How am I supposed to know this kind of stuff? But
Oh,
the
you
good
had your
thing
laptop right there. I thought you were going to open it up.
I'm trying to, but it's logging me out constantly.
Oh.
There goes the computer.
Yeah,
just blowing up over there.
Yep.
This is like a podcast, and we're supposed to have high quality sound. And Jenny, you need that microphone. You need to get it really close. So the good thing is none of our sponsors have changed. I have no idea why they haven't all canceled on us now, with that horrible sound quality and computers piping up. But this show would not be possible without the help of some of our sponsors, which include Yamaha, Moto, bringing you the Rooster Endo segment. I said that funny. Rooster, like a chicken. There's a rooster.
Roost or Endo?
Correct.
Yeah.
Rooster Endo, and we actually have room for one more submission. Where you basically, the way this game works is you send us a picture of your bike. A good picture of your bike really helps. Tell us the year, make, and model so we don't have to guess. And then tell us what you did to it, like the mods you did. And you will be entered in the contest where we talk about your bike. We may say good things, we may say bad things. We just discuss your bike. And the bike, out of all of them that gives us, and then we'll say whether it Roost or Endos. Yeah. Everybody gets to.
I've got a few of those for you, but we'll talk about that in another time. But yeah, I mean, I always say the best high performance vehicle is a borrowed one, and if some of these guys could let us come ride these bikes, that'd be even better. Like then we'd really know if it would Roost or Endo.
Right, if we actually rode them.
Yeah, I mean, if they brought the bike here and we actually got to ride it, wouldn't that be great?
No.
No?
No.
Some of them.
You know how when
the winner at least.
I mean, I fascinate about riding some of these bikes, but usually it's the location they take the picture in. But like when you start customizing your bike, you're making it for you, not for me. And most of the time, it's not. The good thing about the manufacturers is they build a pretty good bike for a lot of people, and they're generally really good there. And then that's your job at that point to start going and customizing. So that's why we go off on tangents, like I like to say when we talk about the Rooster Endo bike. So we say whether it's Rooster Endos, and then one that gives us the most enjoyment in the evening, we give you a $100 gift certificate from Moto. That's tacomoto.co. Of course, we have Climb, DDC. You want to hold that up?
Oh, DDC. One of the last things I bought for my bike was a DDC sprocket out of Carson. Great guy, Gardnerville, Carson area.
Right.
Answered the phone while I was he was driving. Gave me the Jimmy Lewis discount without even asking. Look at this.
Well, because you name dropped, didn't you?
No, I swear I did not. And
he couldn't help it, right?
No, he gave it to me without even.
Did he name drop?
I honestly wasn't on that.
He probably didn't. He probably didn't realize he name dropped.
No, it was under $250. I got 2 sprockets and a chain delivered to the house.
Best chain wheels out there, long lasting, stainless steel. I've never worn one out. Let's put it that way, and I ride a lot. So DDC sprockets, Trail Tech, Fasst Company, makers of flex handlebars. Are we going to talk about like the Hangtown National, Marco?
Oh, well, 50B,
A.
50A,
Yeah.
Jimmy Lewis, third place, 125, step up
Invitational.
claim,
Yep.
last lap, had to do it.
See, Marco's got my whole schedule.
Yeah, I mean,
figured
we
out.
can.
It's good.
got the hype
Yeah, I
man.
watched it on YouTube, but I never did see you.
And
Did they not?
and I'll tell you that like I did more jumps than Jet Lawrence. Like
And he's really a good jumper.
he didn't even know some of the jumps that I did. Like they didn't even occur to him that they were on the track. I did jumps that I did more jumps than anybody on that track. And thank God I had Fasst Company flex handlebars, because when you're doing all that jumping, and by I mean getting every jump in on the track, you need handlebars like that for my wrists. Of course, seat concept, bulletproof designs, and double take mirrors. When I went into hair and makeup tonight from before my show, I used a double take mirror to get the spot in the back.
And did
that
you
I
even
usually
tell him
miss.
that you were riding the snowboard park and ski park at Mammoth Mountain Unbound the day before you even went to the race? And so you were just jumping and railing and jibbing and
no,
that whole Hangtown course turned into a Mammoth Mountain jib park.
Pretty
for
sure
you.
I was the only guy that rode on the national track on Saturday during the thing in the exhibition race. But I mean, out of everybody that was there, I'm pretty sure I was the only one that was getting some ski time at Mammoth the day before.
Less than 24 hours before the gate dropped, you were on the chairlift getting gnarly at Mammoth, and well, that's probably exactly why.
Yeah, sliding around the slush. I was doing good.
Yeah.
So, anyways, thanks to all of our sponsors. This show would not be possible. If you want to support us, we have an Amazon link and a Rocky Mountain ATV MC link that you can click through on our website.
Third place.
That was in the 50 class. I would have won, but I decided that I wanted to not crash.
Yeah.
Well, that was super cool. You got invited, and that you got to race some of the guys that you'd raced back in the days when you were riding 80s.
Yeah, those guys I raced 80 novice against.
Yeah.
That were there riding. So, I just got an invite, and if you ever have the opportunity to race around like a national prep track, and whether that means you can get to go there the day before or they have races the day after. And the cool thing is the Dirt Diggers, which is it's the only national that's put on by a club. It's a club, they've been doing this for 54 years. You know how I remember this? Because it's the same age as me. They've been putting on that event for 54 years.
I'll drink a bush to that.
Yeah. And these guys just they take pride. They're all volunteers, and they take pride in putting on a super awesome event. And when you get to ride the day before, when they're making sure that the track's watered, and yeah, it's watered way better than it's ever going to get watered, and it's ripped, and the track is good. It was so awesome. And then to get the invite to go to do the exhibition race, which we rode one Moto on Friday, and they opened up the whole track. We got to do the full track. We got to do the off camber turns kind of right after the start, and then we got to do that step up in the back, which was sketchy. It's big, especially on a 125, especially when you're older. You look at like just something I never would have jumped when I was a kid. I wouldn't even have thought about it, but I know how good the bikes are, and I know the suspension's good.
You thought you were like Damon Bradshaw that day or somebody, just Guy Cooper.
Yeah,
just sending it.
It was a.
I heard you.
So we got
made the sound effect.
I did the sound effect. It was that when you're. I mean, it's like walk up about 8-10 feet away from a building that has a second story, and look up at the roof, and that's what you're looking at. And that takeoff is that steep, but there's a section.
Kodak courage.
There's a second section of rollers before it, but we got one sight lap, and some of like all these kids that were in that race, because I didn't know what. So it's the Pasha 125 Invitational, and they do them at Glen Helen, and he sponsors some of these races, which is super cool to see all the 125s. The fans love it. I mean, when we were riding through the pits, like the pro riders were coming up to watch us all ride through the pits and throw some revs and stuff. It was pretty cool. But the whole time, I mean, I'm like, I got to jump this thing. It just. So that was my goal.
Bucket list claim.
Yeah. So
everyone has a claim.
Last lap, I slowed down a little bit, gave myself a little bit of space, just worked the rollers as good. And the whole time I'm going through in second or third, and I finally committed to third. Kind of manualed the last one, got the best drive I could, and
that Kenda was hooking up.
Yep, and landed right up on top of it. It was pretty cool.
The crowd went wild.
Well, Not really, but I mean, there was a lot of people along the fences. I mean, they wanted to see the 125.
And
They
a
were
lot of
probably-
those people have probably never even ridden a 125.
This is true.
I
Come
mean,
to think of it,
some of
yeah.
these kids, they grew up riding 4-strokes. So that 125 brings it back to like practically a vintage. What year was that bike?
Mine, 2005. It's the same as the new one, except it's a lot different, but it's kind of the same. It's the sort of the same chassis. Mine has a 23 carburetor on it. So it's got parts off of a 2023 on it. Hey,
I wish I could have been there to see that. That must have been an amazing day for you, Jimmy. You'll never forget it.
No, I won't. No, Worldly Rider has a question. He says, my girlfriend thinks my plums hang low because dirt bike riding for 30 years. Is this common? Like the girlfriend
Should we
thinking
ask Jenny?
your plums
Should we ask
hang-
Jenny? Is this?
She can only comment on your plums, I'm hoping. I didn't let my plums dangle in front of her, as far as I know. I wasn't changing outside today.
Put a jock strap on. You'll be fine.
Put a jock strap on. You'll be. I
Plums
honestly
are good
think-
eating. Plums are good eating is all I could start thinking about when I think of the word plums.
Yeah. I had a
never
peach.
been
I had a-
referred to them as plums.
I had a peach today, just for because I'm healthy living. I'll tell
You
you
may
what.
be right, bud, but I wear the Malcolm Smith racing underlayer, and it helps.
Yeah,
I think.
I run some tidies when I'm riding to keep things up there, but in reality, I think that your riding would actually keep your plums from dangling too low because you don't want them down there because you can bump them into things like the gas tank, and so I think maybe they're just instinctively, because I don't think about this. I've actually never thought about where my plums are hanging.
Well, in case
when
you're
I'm riding.
Are you teabagging her at some point on the weekend when you're camping? Is that where she might be coming up with this? But I mean, I don't know, dude. No, I would say absolutely not, dude. Those things are sucked up tight as a drum, and she's just illusional wishing.
Yeah,
Would be my answer.
Maybe you're just old, and then I heard they start bumping when they start bumping into your kneecaps. That's when you really know you're old.
Yeah, watch
So-
Bad Grandpa on Netflix.
Dirty grandpa.
Dirty Grandpa.
Okay, anyways, thanks a lot again to our sponsors, Yamaha, Takamoto, Scott Sports, Climb, DDC, Trail Tech, Fasst Company, Seat Concepts. Marco, don't touch my plums.
What do I do with my
during the
hands?
show?
What do
Yeah,
I do with
not
my
near
hands?
my plums. Bulletproof designs and double take mirrors. Bringing you plum talk tonight on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday.
That's a tough question. How do you even read those words? Your eyes must be like an eagle.
Well, I can see. All I want to see is the take off to the jump.
Got it.
That's it. So we have a couple questions, right, Matt?
A few questions, yeah. You want
Okay,
me to start
so
listing them off, or is Marco reading them? Marco's
going to read them.
Oh, there we go.
That's we got the.
Logan is the bar.
I can't even see those words.
Why don't you call Logan and have him call in, and we'll critique Logan's performance. Or Logan.
I can see Chris.
Actually,
Chris did comment perfectly normal.
let's have.
I can't read any of that.
Oh boy.
I can
Hold
read
on.
it up. I
Wait,
can
wait.
read it up there probably a little better, but
I used to.
Jenny could read it.
Jenny could do
Jenny
that.
could read it. She's super good at reading.
Yeah.
And then we could,
What are we looking for?
and then we could have. I was looking for my glasses. Remember, I had my readers in here. I was going to give them to Marco,
Oh,
but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know where they went.
Okay, so yeah, Jenny, if you want to read the questions. So the way that this show works, by the way, if you're new to the show or just tuning in, if you're watching it live, if you ask a question in the chat, we generally get right to it or pretty close if it's a decent question. As you can tell, we're answering plum questions by Worldly Rider. Otherwise, if you're listening to this on one of the other formats where it's later, you can always send us an email, comment on that show if you're watching it on one of the live formats.
read that.
That it's a to tape, and this isn't a podcast anymore. This is called a broadcast,
It's a web show.
How about a
web show.
broadcast
a broadcast. Yeah, it's a broadcast. We'll start
tonight
something new.
anyway?
And one of the other things we do on the show is it's Tech Talk Taco Tuesday and Tequila. Is Mark out there? I haven't seen Mark post
Have not.
lately. Yeah,
Mark Post. I know he's got a lot of motorcycles in his garage.
Yeah, so the Mark Daniels likes to tell us what tequila he's having, but we're gonna go ahead and start out. I'm gonna start out with it's because it's close from last week. This is 3 R's.
Ooh.
3 R's.
Okay.
Also,
This is our. This is our.
that the three
Also,
revs?
yeah, 3 R's.
3 revs.
This is a Blanco. This is one that I imported up from
Nelly.
Mexico when I was down there. Remember, Marco, these are sipping tequilas,
What
not
part
shooting
of,
tequilas.
Mexico?
Well, I got them in Cabo, which isn't necessarily known for its
You
it's
say
tequila.
Cabo or Cabo?
San Jose del Cabo.
Cabo.
Yeah. And I have a good tequila shop hookup down there, which is then
You
they
and Sammy Hagar buddies?
no that
I can't drive 55.
he's
He's
in
got a spot down there.
he's in Wabo. I'm just in.
Oh my gosh.
So this is a sipping tequila. So
Sipping it,
tell you how I like the ours. It's not bad for a
Wow.
Blanco, huh?
That's really nice.
Yeah, I like.
So,
Okay.
That's really nice.
seat concepts are proudly made and developed in the USA, handmade and developed in the USA by true motorcycle enthusiasts. Wide variety of seat options, seat concepts, saving asses since 2008.
I had one
I
in
like it with
2015. I got it at the Big Bear Trail Run. They came, they put it on within 15 minutes, changed my life. Sold my bike with it on there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. What a seat.
Hey, it's Chicken Joe.
Yeah.
One of our things. Matt, I need you to email
Is that
me
a cat just licking my leg down there? No, just kidding.
Okay, so there's Mark, 1924 Don Roberto Reposado, and Mark is telling me the audio is not in sync, but I'm thinking it has something to do with your tequila. So yeah, this is the 3Rs. We'll go ahead and set it out here on the.
Should we put the mics up closer to our mouth?
Well, no, I think he's trying to lip read or something like that. Not really sure why. So, Chicken Joe, did he win? He won.
He won a few
Our
weeks
Rooster Endo a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Kind of bike.
Good time. You'll see the colors that are in his profile picture and stuff.
Oh,
His bike had that. It was a KTM or a Husky or something. It was one of those, but it was like kind of high vis yellow and lipstick ish pink red.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's those colors. It's crazy with some yellow and stuff in it. It was good.
Looks like the sound is fine.
Yeah. So the chat room is telling us we're on
good.
point. So like I was saying, you can ask the question in the chat. You can send us an email with the question, and we're gonna go to our first question. We'll start with the Hey Jimmy one.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy. What's your bike preference for gravel roads and non-technical trails?
So I think the question that he was trying to get at is, do I want to ride an adventure bike or a dual sport bike? And so we'll just say KTM 500 or Yamaha Tenere 700. That's the question. It could be Husky 701 versus KTM 350, or Africa Twin versus XT 225. I don't know. It's all over the board. And this is kind of the question that we get all the time. And half the reason that you're here, Marco, is
I've had all these bikes you're talking about. I've ridden every one.
KLR 650.
I love the KLR 650. It's a gravel grinding, road ripping, neat bike for under 10 grand. You
35
can have the thing,
horsepower.
I mean, hey, I rode the thing. I rode it by myself. I rode it with Jenny on the back. I rode it with 4 kids on my block on the thing. The KLR 650 will definitely do the deal, but at the same time, I mean,
So I think he's like,
I've never had the big boy bike like you have, the Tenere, which I would think is just way too gnarly for a dirt road.
only 50 more cc's and 1 extra cylinder than that
But
KLR.
Gosh, you start riding that thing.
Whole different animal.
Big boy bike, you better have some balance and have gone to Jimmy Lewis riding school to learn how to ride that thing.
Oh, thank you.
But the KLR 650 on a gravel road, dream come true. Put all the gas in it you want, ride from Bakersfield to Barstow to up to Tahoe and back, no problem. But
and for me, so once you say the word road, and by road I mean something that you can drive. Let's just say an all-wheel drive car on.
a 4Runner.
Yeah, 4Runner. Well, 4Runner. I don't want to go into
an overland vehicle.
Boondocker. I don't want to go into something with a transfer case and low range, because you can do crazy stuff with that. But let's just say something you can take a it'd be like the kind of thing you could take like a crossover type car on. And once you go road, then it's you're kind of drawing a line. It's road, and then road goes all the way up to 4-lane asphalt freeway. I'm going adventure bike. But if road means I'm going to need to put it like my truck in a 4 low and I want to go like do gnarly stuff, then I don't want to do I don't ever want to do the 4-lane highway on that bike, and that's when I go to the single cylinder.
Like 2-track Jeep roads.
Yeah, when you start going
which would be clearly like marked if it was a forestry
you can still do it. So it's like and that's that's the weird thing is on the off-road and dirt, you're riding down the 2-track road and all of a sudden you see the single track with the little motorcycle symbol on it. It's like, I want to go there. If you're on your adventure bike, your multi-cylinder, bigger thing, heavier, loaded up, whatever, you can probably do most of it, but there's always that 1 mile. There's always that 1 mile section of trail. Like we talked about the trail road, the mountain bike on yesterday. I rode 99% of it, but it was that 1% where I came up and it was too tight to get around, had to stop because I didn't know the line. And then there's, like drop offs, and I didn't know, like, if I mess up on that little part of the drop off, there's 1 or 2 more. Right. And that's where you don't do that on an adventure bike. I mean, some people do, and there's videos of it all day long.
Gets too technical.
And are you by yourself? Can you pick it
Can you
up
pick
if
it
you
up?
drop it? Can you turn it around using the kickstand and go back the other way? Yeah, I mean, that's a super big variable. It's like, to me, like when I live in the mountains for the last 30 years, and it's always the guy that went down that fire road in his wife's Suburban that accidentally could not absolutely turn around, and he scratched the heck out of it. And then there's the guy that was in his wife's Rubicon, and he could do a 3-point turn around and get the heck out of there. So do you ride a fire road on a Rubicon, 4-door Rubicon, or your wife's Suburban? And
it depends on the rider.
I mean,
Yeah,
how much money you got? How strong are you?
I think when you're
Can you afford to crash?
when you're sitting there at the dinner table or watching a podcast and stuff, it's so easy to sit there and say, well, what would you do here or there or whatever? But it's like when you get out there, and it's just having the discipline to say, when you're on the bigger, more capable bike that goes down the roads and the highways better, to just tell yourself, no, I can't.
Yeah, time to turn around.
Yeah, I can't go there. Or
hold on, kids. Dad's turning around.
Yeah,
we're going back. Mom's waiting for us.
Yeah, if you can turn around, it's a lot better if you don't have to turn around. But just it's making that decision where the good thing about being on a smaller bike, if you and a lot of these questions are coming from people that only get to have one motorcycle. They're trying to find the unicorn, and there's no such thing. Marco?
Nope.
Yeah, you gotta make a decision.
And that's why I'm out here riding all your bikes this week. I'm on the fence. I'm trying to get something new. Of course I want a Tenere, but at the same time, do I really get a Tenere? Probably not. I've had a KLR, the best time I've ever had in my life on a KLR 650, but do I really want that bike again? No. How about that 350 I rode today? Epic.
Tenere and 350s cost about the same.
Can Tenere just make a 400 for us guys that need to lift it by themselves?
That's what a 350 is.
Honest, in surfing you have a quiver, and snowboarding you have a quiver, and a lot of people have that car they drive to work, and then the car they drive on the weekends, and so it's all about having
a quiver of motorcycles.
Yeah, more than one, and we're not all Jimmy Lewis and Matt. We don't get to just have a big garage full of bikes, but. So these are all super valid questions, and it's super cool to have you answering them.
Thank you. How would the Tenere 700 compare to what was it 90s Dakar bike Jimmy? Well, that would be, how is it compared to a BMW 900 RR factory rally bike? Well, first, the Tenere is probably about
$10,000, $20,000 cheaper.
$290,000 cheaper.
Oh, see, yeah. Well,
I saw what it was insured for on the insurance declarations. So yeah, quite a bit cheaper. But in reality, the Boxer, I think that bike probably put out just a fair amount, because they both go almost the same top speed, and I think the Tenere is just a little bit more aerodynamic and stuff, but. Yeah, the Tenere, it doesn't really go 140. It goes 100, maybe 130 when you get it right.
Dude, downwind.
So, but man, the Tenere is a lot lighter, and the suspension for what it is out of the box is pretty incredible. Where you're dealing with a bike that had factory suspensions and stuff on it. Whoa.
I guess it's time for me to go get.
Yeah, time for another one.
Bushwhacking here.
Right. How was that, Mark?
I did get to ride a Tenere a few weeks ago. My buddy Dean Christensen has one, and wow, what a neat bike. I felt amazing on it. It felt like something that I could, and I only rode it on the street for 15 minutes, and I was like, wow. And then I weeks later rode an Africa Twin, and I did get to ride it on the street and the dirt, and I was like, wow, I'm 6'2.5", 250 pounds almost, probably more with my gear.
You're gonna throw the half in there, 6'2.5"
ish with my boots on.
Okay.
But those are some big, giant bikes, and they take a definite riding ability. Not only that, but they're super expensive. They're super awesome. They're super fancy. I can't imagine riding one of those bikes aimlessly, to where when I go on adventures, I want to kind of be I don't know where I'm going. I have no idea. I think I can turn around. Maybe not. Maybe not. So I personally, when I'm riding gravel roads and I'm riding 2-track and fire roads, I mean, come on, KTM 500, something with a plate just because you want to shoot in and get some gas, something lightweight.
Yeah, I think
one that you can throw a backpack on and maybe bring some gear, go skinny dipping in the hot tub like you like to do.
Yeah.
Pull into the brewery, have a beer or a near
when
beer.
When you're done with the ride.
Yeah, when you're done
with the ride.
yeah,
Got it.
But
so Mark Daniels
those
wants,
two bikes
so
are
did you
so
go
different.
snowboarding or snow skiing, or did you convert the 125 into a Moto snow bike? Let's see. I did everything but convert the 125 into a Moto snow bike.
Well, I'm going to just stop you right there. Jimmy is absolute alpine fluid, we decided.
Right.
He decides in the morning if he's going to ski or snowboard.
Right.
He does most of the time both. He skis in the morning because it's fast and gnarly, and then he'll jump on his snowboard later in the day to throw shakas and rip down
that way
to the van.
my hands aren't all constrained by those
so
poles.
He does both every time he rides. And
alpine fluid, my friends.
so would that be kind of like having a Tenere in the morning and just ripping around to yard sales and shooting around, and then all of a sudden coming home and getting on your enduro cross bike?
It'd be like having a Tenere and doing 2 sections of a Nevada BDR, and then getting to the end of a section, you saw 3 really awesome single tracks, but your wife pulled up in your
Truck
Lance
with you.
camper with your KTM 500, and actually no, with my WR450 Yamaha Blue Crew. Yamaha WR450 on the back, and then I just unload it and I ride back down to where the trail was, and I go get to ride that trail. Then I'm bike fluid.
Oh, thanks, Jimmy.
Completely bike fluid. So I'm
or like me, I would ride my KLR to someone's camp and say, "Dude, can I try your 300?" And then
you'd do some Instabro.
Yeah, I would literally rip down to Johnson Valley on my KLR and then act like I'd never ridden the guy's KTM 300, and then do a lap in Cougar Buttes on his 300 real quick, and then turn it back in and then disappear on my KLR.
Right.
So I mean, it's gosh, what a tough question. I'm glad it's the pros answering these. That's why you get paid the big bucks.
What's Jenny sampling the massage machine? She's going to come over and answer another question.
She's going to get you one of your Busch Lights, I think. And,
I got one right here.
You got another question right here, and these letters are so small I can't read it. But
give it your best. Start with.
I cannot read not one of those letters.
That's coming.
She's coming.
I actually wanted Marco to read these. I got to find those glasses. I think it'd be more fun if Marco read them.
I can read, everybody. I'm just you turn 59 years old, and you need readers. I think it was when I got a Cycle Trader one year. I sat down to read it, and then on the throne, and I just threw it to the side.
Couldn't focus.
Couldn't even read the. That was 10 years ago.
You were looking to read the ads for the bikes you were selling.
Yeah, or just to read something, and then.
Okay, so this is a follow-up. So a couple weeks ago, we had a question about a guy who had an older KTM 400 MXC, and he bought a starter that spun backwards, and I told him he bought like a real old eBay, or I don't know where did he get the starter, Amazon or something like that. But actually, he does explain.
Rocky Mountain ATV.
Well, he did. So this is the interesting.
Or
so follow. it would start with the Kickstarter, not the button. But the starter sprag was good. Actually, I replaced the elastic metal tension band with the $4 car part from Napa that you referenced. So if you have an older KTM RFS bike and it's not starting, it's making squeaking noises and stuff, you can buy like a bearing that's $100 or a couple $100. Or you can buy this $4 Napa seal, and you pull the spring off the seal and wrap it around the sprag gear, and everything's fine because the sprag doesn't wear out. So I told him that. He figured it out, got it done. He says the problem was the cheap replacement starter, and he says it was the Neutron brand from Rocky Mountain, which spun clockwise. Uh-oh.
The font just got bigger.
Yeah, there we go. Logan would have figured that out like 20 minutes ago, by the way. Why are you dressed up? Why are you dressed up so nice?
Why am I dressed up so nice?
Right. You work at a home office.
Yes. That is the exact reason why I'm dressed up so nice. I've been having a hard time focusing lately, so dressing for work. And then I got so caught up, I was like, oh shit, I gotta get the prom. So this isn't work. Well, I mean, it could still be work.
Matt Mattoon, everybody.
Yeah.
So back to the thing. I took your advice and bought a Tusk replacement starter from Rocky Mountain, which is I think they're kind of the same thing. But anyways, I do know Rocky Mountain has that Neutron brand. I have used their brake pads before with actually really good success.
I've used a Neutron starter with success.
Okay. So anyways, voila, it spun the correct direction and the bike now starts with a button. I appreciate your knowledge and podcast platform. Well, thanks, Mark. And we're not a podcast. We're a
web show.
Web show, a broadcast.
You know, we could argue that we're streamers.
Is that kind of like boondocking?
Not really.
When I was out hanging with the hippies at the hot spring, they are all boondockers now. They're not hippies. They're not even. I don't even know what they are.
I think there's a new etiquette that everybody wears clothes.
Yeah, it's not like the old days when you're swinging dicks with hippies.
Yeah, bumping dicks with naked hippies.
I
called it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Well, so
that way, I could do the survey of the plums. I could check the plums. I could see the people that rode into the hot spring, and then I could look at the people that drove in their car, and I could do a plum survey if we needed to for our first question. Skiing in the morning, snowboard in the afternoon. That's right. But ski biking is dude. Do you remember when Ronnie got us the snow scoots?
Oh,
you got the no.
He got us allowed to ride the mountain.
Yeah. Let's get this straight. You got us the snow scoots, and then that was after our dual sport ride, wasn't it?
That was it was a famous day that was a historical day because no one had ridden those on Mammoth Mountain, and Ronnie pulled some strings and got us to be able to rip around the mountain and show ski patrol and risk management what we could do, and I don't know what we did, but
we were getting chased all over the mountain because every
they do allow them now.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
That was so epic. Those things
I still have 3 of them
for a bunch of moto guys.
In case you ever want one.
For a bunch of moto guys to go do that on the mountain. Those snow scoots were just incredible. That was a lot of fun, and it was fun going. No, we can't go back down to that chair. We got to go over here because they don't know what we're doing yet.
Yeah, I know. I know your local ski area here, Lee Canyon, Ski Las Vegas, whatever they're calling it now.
Yep.
They do allow snow bikes and snow scoots, and in case you guys are all just have to have handlebars in your hands, you got to check it out. There's a couple local shops in Vegas that even rent them, and we actually were pioneers of that. They're super dangerous, but
that was so much.
It was fun. And
the other thing we did was so after the dual sport ride, we rode mountain boards. As another thing, you procured mountain boards,
air-filled tire boards on the street.
We did kamikaze. No, we did kamikaze downhill on mountain boards before. Like we're getting on the gondola. Like, what are those? And like Ronnie's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, no. Thank God they never allowed us to come back.
That was one and done.
Yeah.
That was one and done.
We do have video of that. I think it was Billy Anderson, Ryan Boyce, and a couple other kids had actually done it too. And so are these some questions here?
Yeah, I want you to answer that one. Start with the hello one.
Hello. Okay, this is from this is Dante or Dorrit from DYU and F Wheel. At DIU brand, which focuses on an e-bike for more than 8 years. LED e-bike for 8 years. After following your channel on Instagram, I have to say your video really resonated with me. So this time we went to collaborate with you on our DYU smart bike.
It shouldn't be DUI smart bike.
It says
I know.
DYU. Are you interested? If so, I would really love to get in touch and begin a collaboration that would bring value to both our audience, which is a huge audience. E-bikes they're going off right now, and I know Jimmy probably rides an e-bike as much as he rides a motorcycle, so this is a perfect question for him. Here's our official site. It's
some stuff. DUI cycle.
Cycle.com. Waiting for your reply. So did you get something in the mail? Are there like wheels for your bike, or is there?
No, you want to talk to this guy?
I do.
Okay.
There's nothing I love better than e-bikes. Mammoth, where I live in California, is e-bike. Everybody has one. There's no one that doesn't have one, from a 5-year-old kid to a 85-year-old man. So, and we have mountain allows it.
I'll put you in touch with Dorrit.
Dorrit.
I rode one. I rode one the other day.
So really wasn't a specific question. That was just like, yeah, we want to learn more about what you got going on, dude.
He wants to collaborate because he enjoyed my channel on Instagram. Which channel is that, Matt?
On Instagram?
Yeah. What video did he watch?
Probably Jimmy Lewis Riding School.
Yeah.
Maybe you could start to teach people how to ride these electric bikes.
I'm not very good at it, so no.
Oh, he's lying. You're lying.
The pegs move. I can't ride them because the pegs move.
Well, I think you're on to something, bud.
Okay.
Keep on. Go Dorrit. I would keep on Jimmy. You're not, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and Jimmy Lewis is definitely someone you want to know.
Do you have Yolande Dent's question?
Yolande Dent, I do.
Yeah.
It says, to the advise.
It says to advertise. To advertise. That's okay.
I wanted to get in touch with you because we built and scaled multiple e-com brands by simply inserting a series of email flows and weekly campaigns.
That's about as far as I got.
Yeah. Last month, one of our clients generated $97,000 in 30 days without any ad spend. Wow, you could really do some. Would you like to see if we can work together? Yolanda. Well, I mean, of course. Who wouldn't want that kind of momentum?
Right.
But what type of ads are we talking about here?
I wonder if they're going to clarify if that 97K is from the Nigerian prince I keep getting emails from.
Oh.
Yeah. Or like the amount of money that the tuckability bikinis are making at Target.
Are they pulling that kind of dough?
Yeah, they have tuckability bikinis now. They have tuckability.
It doesn't come across on my feed.
A little more specific. If it's two-wheel related and has handlebars and pops a wheelie or skids, Yolanda, you're on to something.
Mike Kmet. Has this guy chimed in for KMET? Remember that station?
Oh yeah, the Mighty Met.
The Mighty Met. Hi Jimmy. KTM is putting traction control in. I'm sure it makes most riders faster in most conditions. But does it make the rider less skilled in the long run? Sorry, can't hit your class at Tour Tech, and cheers. So the funny thing, Mike, about traction control is that for a lot of us who've been riding for a long time, we fight with it. So you if you have been riding for a long time and stuff, you realize that you're spinning, and if you want to spin more, you turn the throttle more. And if you want to spin less, you turn the throttle less. This is what normal people do. But so let's say you're spinning and you want to spin more and you turn the throttle more because you want to spin, and the bike says no, and it starts doing stuff and it grabs traction and the reason a lot of us turn the throttle more is so that we do spin, so we don't grab traction because you're spinning up for something. And then you get traction, which launches you into something that you probably don't want to. Or the other thing happens where it starts spinning and you realize it about the same time as the bike realizes it, and you back off, and it cuts at the same time, and then it cuts and doesn't do exactly what you want it to, and then you get in a fight, and you're on, off, fighting with traction control. This is old school experienced rider. It's not worked with traction control. And I have a big problem with traction control, and most of the time, in most circumstances, I turn it off because I'm quicker than majority of traction control. Some of them are getting really good on some of the adventure bikes. But is it going to make us dumber? And if you didn't learn this stuff, you're just going to turn the throttle and let the ECU do all the work for you, because it will do kind of what you want it to do.
Don't get me wrong. A guy with this kind of bike and this kind of a budget to buy this kind of bike, is he really that tech savvy?
Well, KTM's going to start putting. KTM has been putting it on their SXs and XCs.
Do we know how to use these buttons?
It's not really traction control though, because it's not taking wheel sensor readings. What it is it notes rate of acceleration, and if the RPMs kind of rev up quicker than it should or it could, so it's kind of fake traction control, but it does it. If it kind of spins up unnecessarily, it will do stuff in the fueling and the ignition to kind of turn it down. On the 2-strokes, I know they can do stuff with the power valve, same sort of thing. So
I could see that on like icy roads and like icy graveled,
but
pavement roads, but off road.
I've ridden bikes with traction control on icy roads for testing and stuff before, and I start feeling it spin, and I kind of want to keep it spinning just a little bit because I know that I can back it off and actually get more traction by backing off from experience. But the bike starts doing it, and imagine that I want it to spin a little more, and it gets traction. It goes when I don't want it to, and then I kind of get into the throttle and go, no, spin, and it's going, no, I don't want to spin, and then it finds traction, and it spins. It's just. It
sounds like they're kind of pussifying the whole like riding experience.
I don't want to call it pussifying. I just want to say that.
Come on, you got to be able to twist it on a little bit, and like power is your friend.
You should be able to turn it all the way off. But here's the question that maybe the answer is it going to make us dumb? Well, guess what? If everybody, like, you have kids.
I shouldn't even say a word because I've never even imagined.
You have kids now that can't drive a stick shift. Don't even know what a stick shift is.
Oh my gosh.
Right. Okay. They never operated a clutch, and
God, my kid can drive one.
Yeah, and so they do this, and then that person comes to motorcycling, and they're like, what? It has a transmission. What do I do now? And so it's happening. We're getting here, and so the manufacturers may not be able to allow a bike to be equipped with a regular manual throttle because. The YouTube videos you watch when guys are just like first time on a bike, just they hold it half throttle and dump the clutch and shoot into the fence or the side of the house.
Yeah, I love those videos.
Yeah, I know. That's what we're dumbing ourselves down to.
And I don't mean to say pussify. I just meant to say like, wow, like whatever happened to a little bit of power is your friend, or
what dirt bikes do?
Being in control, 100% control of your bike. No matter what, and then your bike's got a mind of its own.
You have to respect it. But think about so we buy dirt bikes, and you may not think about this, but you buy a dirt bike and you go to a place where it's legal to ride your dirt bike. Once you're there at the place where it's legal to ride your dirt bike, and you're in the area where it's legal, try breaking the law. Like, you can go as fast as you want to. You can pull wheelies. You can do skids. You can do
pull wheelies. You call that wheel lofting, I thought.
Well, not until you come to the school.
Okay.
But you can go hell-bent. You can go smash yourself into a tree. You can do a backflip. You can do a nose wheelie and cartwheel, and none of it's illegal on your dirt bike. A dirt bike is, and it doesn't cost that much to be able to go do all this stuff. It's this level of freedom, and at that point, you can do all this crazy stuff, and okay, now we need to put traction control. Now we need to put all this other stuff on it, and pretty soon they're gonna say, oh no, we need speed limits. You need to put speed limits on your dirt bike. Like, you can only go so fast. I mean, it's happening in some places, in state parks and things like that. But go out to the desert. Go out into the woods.
One thing that I did see,
you can go as fast as you want to.
The one thing I saw this year that I've never seen, and of all places, I was in Nicaragua riding motorcycles. My buddy has a valet key start for his motorcycle. He can start his motorcycle with a fob. It's a Vento 250. I have proof. I have a video. So he can walk up to his bike and start it without even getting on it or touching it. And
What if you left it in gear?
Well, exactly. Like I'm thinking, like
in that line of all those bikes. So Marco, just tell everybody where you were for 2 months.
I just rode motorcycles in Nicaragua for a couple months. We were on, picture this: 150, 250 air-cooled bikes. They retail for about $1,500. We were renting them for $14 a day.
What brand was your bike?
I was on an AKT 150.
Okay.
Retail $1,400. And so this guy was on a Vento, Vento. I don't know where it's from, but super neat bike. But he just to brag, he showed me that it would start with his valet key start, and I was like, hey, that's awesome. But then at the same time, I thought I'd be the idiot to leave it in gear.
Yeah, because the Vento probably doesn't have the neutral cutoff switch or like if the kickstand is down.
Does it? I don't know.
If you're in that row next to the fancy, because this guy obviously goes to the fancy places, and there's like 17 bikes in a row.
It was the nicest bike down there.
And you push the button on the Vento, and it just knocks off the kickstand and just dominoes everybody else's bikes.
That would be me. That would be me. And I did do that. I knocked a few bikes. Well, and then you get off a motorcycle there, and they're all parked so close, you back into one and burn your leg on the other guy's pipe. And so once again,
like Brian Birch.
Brian Birch. Well, he's one of my best friends. I've been riding motorcycles with him since I was probably third grade. He was the man.
We did flat track at his. We did a mini moto. At his place.
Bob Hanna wouldn't even be cool if it weren't for Brian Birch, riding his bike.
Yeah.
Brian, Shaka. Thanks for the Jack Russell back in the day, too. You gave me my favorite dog, Jake. Brian's a badass. Yeah, he was riding Speedway last I was pitting him. Division 3, the most dangerous division ever you could ever ride in Speedway. But
there's a thing.
I would love to see
brakes.
Brian out here at your school. He would.
No brakes?
Brian, if you come to Jimmy's school, you will definitely go home. He's got a house in Big Bear. You could have a dual sport, no problem up there.
All right, where is Matt? Did you ever send me the link to the? Did I get the link to the questions?
The band is back together.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
I did see your 80, the XR80 you guys rode out at the Anza Moto.
That was.
He has it on the wall here, so when you do come to Jimmy Lewis Riding School, we will definitely be able to set you up on that bike, and you can rip a lap or two on it.
That thing got second place at the Baja 500. So the race they just had in Baja. Imagine if you were riding the 250 class, and you got beat by a guy in an XR 100.
Yeah, and Brian test rode that thing at his track in a Grand Prix that was just like, how many laps did we do that day?
I have no idea.
Heather and Jenny. Jenny just kept going and going and going.
I think I had to take Heather to the hospital after. I think she did some severe back damage after that Grand Prix. That
was
races.
one of the funnest times we ever had on mini bikes. Probably one of the last times, maybe.
We slowed. No, we did them for a little bit. Not the Zoom link. I'm looking for the restream, the chat thing, that one.
I'll reshare it with you.
Okay, because I'm trying to keep track of this stuff. Okay, if you want to support us, go ahead and click through on our Amazon links when you're buying. What's the next thing you're going to buy on Amazon?
Shouldn't you talk more about the sponsors for a minute again?
Yeah, we can get there. Which sponsor you want to talk about?
I really want to give this guy, the Sprocket guy.
DDC. They were our first sponsor. Nate said, "Yeah, I'm sponsoring the show." Right off the bat. Didn't even. Basically, I was driving down to a Mexican restaurant. This is how the show started, Mark. I was driving down to Romero's. I'm gonna do a podcast thing. I don't even know how to do one, and I'm talking to Nate about getting some sprockets. And next thing you know, I have a sponsor for the show. Yeah, it was that quick.
And so if you have an EXC 500, 350, 250, he's got a Jimmy Lewis package. It's called the Jimmy Lewis package, and he'll set you up with the nicest. I want to say it's almost an OEM front
A Jimmy Lewis package
shaft.
would be like 16 rear sprockets and 12 chains.
Well, he's got the best of the best. It was literally like $211 to the door, and we literally got it the next day after ordering it. Mine was black. He apologized for not having this chrome finish, but well, you ain't shit if your chrome don't shine, they say. But mine was black. It was amazing. It bolted right up. He sent me the hardware as well. DDC, nicest guy. He'll answer the phone if you call. He is the man. and a really hardworking guy. And so, what a great sponsor to have.
Are you updating my Grinder profile over there, Matt? Because this is the
Right there.
document to the
Right there.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the
Hopefully he's watching.
What link are you looking for?
the one to the questions, the comments. You know that thing, whatever that's called.
Yeah, I thought you already had that.
Chris Reel.
I did, but I had to close down because my browser blew up.
Can you open it up again?
Yeah, Chris Reel says, yeah.
Oh, ABS on an ice road. Nothing works on ice. Nothing.
No power, no brakes, just roll.
Ice is ice. It's got a mind of its own. It is the boss.
Yeah, that one right there. That's what I was looking for, Matt. That chat right
You
there.
have good eyes, Jim.
Just
God, I learned about mango ice in Nicaragua. So when the monkeys throw the mangoes down on the road, and in the morning they're all smashed from all the trucks, and you come around the corner, that mango
ice?
fruit on the road is slippery.
do they actually call it ice?
I did.
Okay,
I
you call it
named
mango ice. Have you ever
It's
been
kind of like black ice in the mountains.
have you ever been driving up into northern Nevada, southern Idaho when the Mormon beetles come out in the road?
No.
Mormon beetle ice. Dude,
I'm aware of it now.
Same stuff.
I'm gonna be
It's the
aware
same.
of it.
Like it's just these bugs are doing the death march under your tires, and it actually packs up. It gets almost like an inch thick in the middle. It's like ruts. Like if you ride the motorcycle down the middle of the road, you're just crushing them. But if you get onto the tire tracks where the trucks and the cars have run, it's like an inch thick.
And what about those grasshoppers today in the desert?
Oh, they're everywhere.
I'm learning. So yeah,
You gotta go just the right speed. You gotta go kind of fast because if you go a little too slow, dude, those things stink. You know.
there's so many multiple levels of being. There's cinders. There's oil from the road when it rains. There's condensation in the morning. There's shade. There's shade ice. There's black ice. There's never drop your guard. And it doesn't matter
just means
what.
Slippery.
Yeah, super slippery.
Just means slippery.
Beware.
So I think we're gonna go ahead and take a little bit of break. Did you
break?
get a new submission for Rooster Endo or just?
From my Valentine.
Oh, from your Valentine.
Yeah,
Victor.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Does it look like it's a bike that he owns?
Yes, it does actually.
Does it have a sombrero on it someplace?
It does not. It does not, unfortunately.
So, okay, we are going to go ahead and take a little break. You can get a little message from our sponsors. We do appreciate them supporting us, and we'll come back with the Rooster Endo, and we'll answer all of the other questions that we don't have yet. But if you have a question, send it in.
The defending champion, the all-new Yamaha YZ450F.
What's up, Moto Buddies? Mike here from Taco Moto Co. What is the Taco Touch? It's the best service in the industry. Virtually 24/7 tech support via email or text, and it's like having a dirt bike doctor on call every day of the year, helping you fix your bike or recommend parts or setups for you. If you've ever received an order from us, you'll know that the Taco Touch extends to our fulfillment, and our orders come with the coolest stickers that you've ever had, buying parts from anybody before, and a handful of root beer barrel candies. All of our Taco Moto Co. branded components come with a no questions asked lifetime warranty, and we'll even extend out the warranty of other manufacturers, OEM, and aftermarket parts where we can, sometimes for life. We test and tune endlessly and exhaustively and obsessively. We're trying to destroy everything that we can before you get your hands on it to look for weaknesses and to improve it, or to make recommendations to the manufacturer. And if it's something that doesn't meet grade, then we don't offer it on the store. Everything that we carry is something that we have personally used, tested, and ridden, and raced, and knows meets the high taco touch demanding standard. Go out and get some adventure.
And we are back. So, Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. It's the show where we answer your motorcycle and motorcycle product related questions. Matt's doing something. I'm not sure what he's. Are you getting primed for Rooster Endo?
Yep.
Okay. So Rooster Endo is the segment where you send us a picture of your bike, tell us your make and model, we discuss it, and then at the end, you are vying for a $100 gift certificate. I'm having a hard time with the certificate word today for some reason.
Gift card?
Gift card. We'll call it gift card from Taco Moto. That's tacomoto.co. They are based in Vegas. They have go fast and good handling, looking parts, lights, all different kinds of things. Stickers.
Goodies
For your dirt bike. And we're ready for bike number one, Matt.
Oh,
go
we're
ahead.
jumping right into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are you texting?
I'm not texting
Why are you
anyone.
dressed? You got a date or something tonight? You're dressed up really, really nice.
Yeah, I'm dressed up really nice because I'm trying some different focusing stuff.
So this focus thing, so you weren't focused on the show or getting the bike ready to go for the show right now, but so the clothes is not helping with the
Rooster Endo?
Yeah, or Tech Talk Taco Tuesday in general. Did you want to sit over here with that nice outfit?
No, I'm good.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll switch seats with you.
Bike number one.
Do you want to be a producer?
No.
No, you can't push those buttons.
No.
All right. So bike number one, this is going to be Ryan.
Well, that's a KTM.
Ryan Sicules. 2004 KTM 525 EXC. It's a highway dirt bike handguards, sub-mounted GPR stabilizer with Pro Taper Evo steering stabilizer low bars. Clark 3.1 fuel gas tank.
Looks like Utah.
3.1 gallon fuel tank. Front fender zip tied together from the first deer I hit. Enduro Engineering tall seat. Period correct aluminum skid plate. Not sure on the brand. Thinks it's a Ricochet. FMF Power Core 4 slip-on exhaust. JD Jet kit. Giant Loop Coyote saddlebag. Had lots of bikes come and go through my garage over the years, but this old girl just keeps being the one I'm always around. Also, Jimmy, if you happen to have any safari tanks lying around, leftovers from the RFS farm, and you'd be willing to make a deal, let me know.
I do actually have a big black safari tank for that bike.
What year was that bike?
2004.
Yeah, 2004, 5, 6, 7, all kind of the same as far as the tank goes. I'm surprised that the kickstand is still working on that bike. Because I can already see that the bike has a little bit of a lean to it. You know, it's got some of that gangsta lean. And those kickstands were just horrific. Trail Tech makes a really good replacement for that. It actually changes the mount and everything, so when the mounts blow up on those, you do it. Noticing that the mud's packing up in the tire. So, yeah, I'm going with you on Utah. Looked like it rained. There was a thunder shower recently.
It looks like George or is that Northern? That looks like...
It looks like someplace.
God, it looks like somewhere epic, and it looks like
north.
He really just kind of ripped it in right there.
It could actually be New Mexico. There's a lot of that in New Mexico too. But Matt,
what a great bike!
Treason.
I mean, what a great bike! That bike right there, if it's still ripping today, I mean, come on.
Hey, is tonight $200?
Yes, you said let's roll it over.
Oh, wow! So you know what? Last week we weren't satisfied with any of our Rooster Endos, so these guys are playing for double the coin tonight, $200.
Zip tied the fender even
for hitting the deer.
That's
the first deer.
I mean, come on, that's saving a couple bucks right there. No pun intended.
No,
to save a buck, you know.
And that's a good bike.
Didn't
I
save
have
the dough.
I have a couple of those for sale, by the way. If anybody wants another one, I kind of like it.
I'd roost that thing myself. I mean, minus having to kick it, I would have to park it on a hill and.
It's got electric. It's got electric.
It's got
start.
a button.
Yeah,
the button still works.
As long as you buy the right starter for it,
Did he
spins
mention
the right way.
The button still worked?
Didn't have to, but yeah, I think it's all good.
Well, what if he didn't? Can it start without a battery? Can you kick
can
that
kick it.
thing?
Yeah, you can kick it. Hard to kick.
Oh, dude, I'll roost that bike right there. I bet it's got the softest seat.
So you're saying that bike roost? Well, it's got a tall seat.
I'm giving that bike a roost for sure. What's that in front of the headlight? Is that like a headlight protector or something?
No, that's his spare fender. I mean, it's his fender bag with a spare tube in it. I'm hoping.
Oh, even smarter. That's what I call being prepared.
So, do you think, judging by the angle of that picture, that he also has a aluminum front disc protector on there?
I'm gonna say no because the rear rotor doesn't have any protection.
Like, yeah, you don't zoom. You have zoomability.
Oh, you can't see it. That thing's positioned perfectly.
I mean, it can enhance.
To
but,
say
there's a little GPS mount right there.
Yeah.
Gosh,
it's perfectly. What's he got mounted on
as
the back
long as
of the
it doesn't have bunny pegs on it. If
What
it
is
had
it?
Buddy pegs.
Does he have something mounted on the side of the fork? Is that like a trail saw or something?
I can't tell if it's a trail saw. I wonder if it's just like a little extra fork protection. I know some people like to run those, like the little PVC pipes that they put on those.
Yeah, but it's that red thing, and it's going at the angle of the fork.
Oh.
I always say if bikes could talk.
It's an MSR fuel can.
If bikes could talk.
An MSR fuel can.
Well, like not the Malcolm Smith.
Oh,
it's like the little camping fuel cans.
That's strapped onto the fork.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Are you kidding me?
Like I can see a little.
Yeah. I agree with you there.
Could be a gun sheath.
It could, but that
He's not in
is.
Arizona.
What are you doing with that thing, Matt?
I'm shrinking it back down for our next submission.
Getting ready for the next one. Okay,
yeah, we got to do all the prep.
That thing roosts. Although, and how would you, if that thing is mounted there and that fork goes up and down, how is it not blowing that thing off the fork leg? I don't know.
Maybe it works like the stabilizers that we saw at AIM. That goes on the fork.
I don't.
The dampener.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Interesting.
It looks like a great bike.
Yeah, Roost.
It really looks like a great bike.
Looks pretty good.
The wheels don't look like stop signs.
So, on paper, this is a Roost, but I look at it and then my back starts to hurt. So Endo.
Why does your back hurt?
RFS bikes. Every time I look at them, my back starts to hurt just a little bit more. From the one incident.
Oh yeah, because you had to pick one up. That's right. Yeah.
I picked one up and it threw out my back.
Yeah. Well, you got to learn how to pick up a motorcycle, Matt.
Yeah, I know.
You just push it downhill like a snowmobile and tumble.
You
tumble it back onto the wheels.
Kids these days, they're little.
Yeah, it's a Roost. It's a good bike. All right, next one up is gonna be from
man, look at that.
Jason Nadler.
Is that a shorty pipe?
2019 KTM 300 XC.
Denty pipe.
Canadian East Coast high speed trail and woods machine. Seat concepts element low seat. Flex bars narrowed by 1 inch. Precision racing steering dampener. Trail Tech Endurance 2 computer. Double take trail mirror. Reflex handguards.
Slow it down, Matt. Enunciate the words. Enunciate the words and quit thinking about the date you're going on later.
Moto minded. It's my bedtime after this. Moto minded bomber start stop switch. STR speed bleeders on the forks. Baja Designs S2 LED light mounted on the triple clamp. IMS 3-gallon tank. 36mm smart carb. V-Force 4 reeds. Trail Tech radiator fan. Samco radiator hoses. Blaze Racing 7-ounce clutch weight.
Ooh.
FMF Power Core 2.1 silencer. Bladder conversion.
Is that a spark arrestor?
No, Power Core is not.
Oh, that might be. Yeah, dude. I'm not riding that thing in the forest.
Well, because he's not in the forest. He's in a place where it's green. And when was the last time you saw sparks come out of a two-stroke, by the way?
I'm just saying, if you're riding off-road, you got to have a spark arrestor.
Depends on where you're at. Yep, it's an MSR fuel cell on that last... And
is it true that you do get a little more horsepower with a dent like that sometimes? Can you get a little more bark?
You know what's interesting? In all the times I've dented pipes and stuff, I have had a few of them actually perform a little bit better when they're dented. I don't know if it quote made more power.
I like the number 29. Feeling fine.
That's Andrew Short's number.
Yeah, Andrew Short. It's better than that.
So Bridgestone X30 front and IRCVE 33S rear tire, both with nitro nooses and balanced.
Oh, love that.
Enduro Engineering clutch slave cylinder guard, P3 carbon frame guards, S3 foot peg bolts and rear brake spring replacement,
Love that.
AXP racing skid plate, solid rear brake rotor, Tusk rear wheel bearing covers, TM Designs chain guide, Dirt Tricks dome washer and rear sprocket, Bulletproof Designs radiator guards and swing arm tab protector, Tugger straps, 7602 racing rear shark fin, Fastway foot pegs, Trail Jammer engine case covers, Dingo fork guards, TM Design fork lug guards, exhaust flange guard,
20 grand.
the ride shop
rip that
folding, the ride shop folding rear brake
I bet
pedal
he's-
tip. It was still going.
I bet he's got receipts of over 20 grand into that bike. I will roost that bike.
Moto minded flex plate.
Bud,
license,
can I ride your bike?
Hey, I'm waiting. I'm just
a Chairbeast tail
I'm
light.
waiting to get the whole list. I'm like processing.
Dude, that's a rich kid's bike. I'll rip that thing. Look at it. Nothing
Chairbeast
will look
tail
good in the
light.
back of my van.
Polysport
when
plastics.
you roll into your KLR 650, you roll up next to the guy and you go, "Bro, can I ride that thing?" And he's just gonna go,
Yeah, if I can ride yours.
"Yeah."
I mean, yes. Give me that bike. I'll rip that thing.
So Chairbeast tail light, Polysport plastics, graphics by M7 Designs, front disc guards on
What?
back order.
Graphics.
Just as
No
Polysport.
graphics.
Or
Black.
no. The
He's just
Chairbeast
talking about his
Polysport
numbers.
plastics, graphics by M7 Designs.
M7's amazing. So I'm going to let the pros take this one over. But as far as me, I mean, I'll throw that in the back of the van and take that thing all day long. Roost.
I'm when I look at this thing, the first thing I see is that dent in the pipe.
Love that dent. You'd have that the first day you rode it.
No, I go around that stuff. That's one of those logs.
That would happen from your boot doing a 1-footer.
That's because the guy that was cutting the trail and he didn't move the log out of the way far enough, and it was kind of coming at you, and it was better that pipe than my knee. That's what I always think when I see the dent like that.
You would dent that pipe the first day.
That's a frontal deflection. It's good. He does have a cylinder flange guard, right?
I see a plate on that thing. Did he even mention the plate? Does it look like there's a plate back there?
Yeah, there's a plate.
Dude,
You mentioned that. I didn't see
come on,
anything
like, what-
about the flange guard.
What
But
better bike in the whole world? A plate with no headlight. I love it, dude. Like, who rides at night anyway?
He's got a headlight.
He's got a
See,
date tonight. He doesn't need.
No, that's
see
Matt.
the headlight.
He said it was triple clamp mounted headlight. That's because he wants to run his number.
He's got a date at night. He doesn't even ride at night. He just needs the plate in the daytime to get to the gas station. Yeah.
What year was this thing
Roost.
again, Matt?
19.
Love
A
that
19.
bike.
So it has a carburetor, Endo.
Love it. No.
19 has the carb?
Say you're in a lightning
well, no,
storm.
maybe it doesn't have a. I have a 19, right? Yeah.
So 19. This is an XC.
XC 19 XC.
I thought they were all TPS by the
TPI.
TPI.
Yeah, I think when they were 19, it's hard to see from this photo. I thought he said he had Electron or something like that, didn't he?
Who cares? Does it have a button? Does it have the happy button?
Does have a happy button.
It's got the happy button. I'm sticking with my Roost. For sure. Where's my beer?
I can't tell. Oh,
My
actually,
beer is empty, but I'm gonna get.
I don't see any hoses hanging down
Honey bunny?
to spill gas all over the.
this is a fuel injected bike.
It's a fuel injected bike.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
pretty
Then
sure.
then it roosts.
Yeah, because you're right. There's no hoses hanging down at all. Okay. Next is gonna be
So what was your
actually our
overall?
first
You're-
ever.
It has a Baja Designs S2 with an amber lens.
So we were asking.
That's an expensive headlight.
So
The S2.
Yeah.
All the Baja Design stuff is expensive because it's
That is
good.
a nice bike. That was a nice bike.
I decided after it was fuel injected that it was nice.
He obviously has a good job. Probably a drywall guy or a. You've got to have like a really good job to have that nice
What
bike.
do we got, Matt? What's the next one?
all right, next
Good
one's
picture,
gonna be
too.
our first ever gear submission. that we've been asking about.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wait, we can't mix the Best Dressed and Rooster Endo.
Are those denims?
It's just Rooster Endo, and we haven't been getting a whole lot of gear submissions, so I just went with the one we got.
Well, we need to have.
Well, you can go off of his bike.
It's a DRZ 400.
Well, he's already submitted the bike, actually.
Give me your empties.
It looks like an 04.
Yeah, you're looking like you got an aluminum can collection going up here, Mark.
05. That's only in California.
Well, all right. Well, I'll try it. I can switch to a bike here.
Do we have? Does that mean we're going to be short one bike?
At least give the guy a double fist pump.
Yeah, we're going to be short a bike.
Short one bike, yeah. Because
Johnny was supposed to send his bike in. Can't believe Johnny.
He could have been up for $200.
Johnny Rotten had his YZ250. He was going to take a nice picture of it.
He has plenty of places to take a nice picture.
So this one is from
Charlie's Place up in Red Mountain.
Victor Andrade, 2001 XR650R, Boys and Clutch, Uni Filter, Baja Designs Dual Sport Kit, and Recidifier.
A what?
Rectifier?
Rectifier?
Yeah.
Recidifier. Okay, got it.
Yeah. It's
I
not.
had
It's
that
still.
same
Thanks,
bike.
Cooper.
Yep.
I did have that bike.
Handmade headlight bracket and LED light array, 2-tech suspension work, top end done by 4-Stroke Works, billet choke plate by XRS only, and
XR's only.
XR's only, and
Apple
Ricky
Valley.
Stater.
So
For XRs only. I've spent thousands of dollars at that place.
right.
They were right on the airport down there, and I used to get to go down there and actually ride some of the bikes that they were building.
That was the first company that ever, besides my dad, but the first company that ever gave me a motorcycle to race was Al Baker and XR's only.
R.I.P. Al Baker.
Yeah. Al gave me an XR 280 to race in the ISD qualifiers.
They're still there.
Back when I was just a little Grom.
I can honestly say I spent more money at Al Baker than I've ever spent anywhere on a bike.
What did you spend it on?
Well, I remember Murray Miller's bike, the 96 XR 400, plated. We still have it to this day. I've spent probably $3,000 at that shop getting that thing back to life. I had an XR 650R that I laced up head to toe at that shop.
You could spend
an XRL,
an XR 400. You could spend like $45 and rebuild the whole motor.
Not the motor. It was buying every single thing else. And I love that. I mean, I used to ride down there from Big Bear all the time. Every chance I got, pull right in. They'd have everything in stock. Yeah. They had the coolest stuff. And it's still, to this day, one of the coolest shops for XRs.
So you think Victor watches the show? Watches the show much? Pays attention?
Yeah.
Dude, I remember one time riding one of the
We're
bikes.
We're going to talk about the photo, right?
Backlit kind of that light is going right up the muffler, if you know what I mean.
He needs the graphic kit from Al Baker.
He does. He has it. That thing
does have it.
He has. That's the XR's only with the wing incorporated.
My eyes are shot.
No, it's the photo.
That is an XR of
he could
all
have pivoted.
XRs.
He could have pivoted on the stand just a little bit. Caught some of that nice late afternoon light that he's got going there.
I'm wondering about the
shadows.
tip on that pipe. Where's the tip on the pipe?
Stock. It's the stock one with probably the power up thing inside of it.
Cut it out.
No, that's the best. That's one of the best pipes for that bike. If you're not going to get a factory hand built twin piper, that's the pipe for that particular bike. Just leave it stock.
I can remember buying super traps.
Sorry.
Super trap pipes for those bikes.
Yeah, loud. Like they get carboned up and get stuck, and they'd strip. And the cheap wood screws that they used to go through. They were metal screws, but they're like wood screws. The coarse thread in those things.
It's the very only bike I've ever ripped a foot peg completely off of the bike.
XR 650.
But I took it to the shop. They welded a new one on, and I had a new foot peg.
Yeah, Johnny Campbell they had these super trick factory foot pegs that would bolt on both sides. It was like a tray, and you had to have that. Yeah, I have one. I have one of these.
I'm already just going to be like crying. I mean, that's to me a Roost. I'll rip that XR. As far as XRs go, dude,
Victor, come on. Let's get with it here. The photo, I'm a little disappointed in the photo. If
it's got the oil filler cap thermometer on it. Remember that?
No. You don't
Remember
want.
you could like screw
They
it
fail.
in and it actually
It measured the oil temperature.
But it did it.
That thing has a stock tank on an XR650. Like you're gonna run out.
Who needs gas? And you just
60.
pull into the gas station.
What gas station? There's no gas station for 240 miles.
Well, in Big Bear, I was in Johnson and Napa Valley, and I mean, I could just always pull right in and get gas.
Where I want to ride that bike, I want to right where he's there. I want to just take a cap heading of about 96 degrees and ride
that's
across
like Stoddard Wells Road.
No, it's Charlie's place.
Oh,
it's Charlie's place, and you could just take off, and I could ride across a military base, and then another military base, and then a third military base, and that would be the next time I would get gas if I didn't go to jail. And you can't do that with a stock tank.
Yeah, because back then you could plate them. I had the full Baja Designs kit put on at Chaparral the day I bought it. Because I had the first one. I had the 01 or 2.
Did you get it?
It was an 02.
Did you get a big tank?
No, I never bought the big tank because you didn't need it. I didn't need it.
He's got that nice aluminum skid plate on there that vibrates and makes all kinds of noise.
I used to put bicycle tires in between the frame and the...
You didn't put that on the list?
I would put a bicycle tube
box
in between the frame and the skid plate before I put it on there.
He says Tiga washes his friend. I'm surprised there's still a visor on Victor's helmet. It's kind of
I really like that XR. God, that's bringing me back some memories. That was a super fast bike.
You want to ride one? I got one in the shipping container.
It was
over
almost
there.
like
It'll
one of
start
the
right
very
up.
fastest bikes I've ever.
Mine has an Achirby 6-gallon tank on it, like it's supposed to. They should have made them like that. And mine has an electric start on it, which they should have made them like that too.
They either started or they didn't. And then I can remember if you got it hot up in Big Bear, up in the
they start right up.
Like
2 kicks.
Really had to know how to start it.
2 kick. Clean it out with 1 kick and start it on the next one.
God,
and flip flops.
What an era! What an era! What a bike!
If I give it a Roost, am I just a shill to the show?
No,
even though Victor has donated
you could
many
wheelie that bike
things.
in every gear. That bike would literally pop it up in every gear.
It makes about 45 horsepower. Really.
I saw a guy out at the track one day had Supermoto wheels on his, and we were all just wanting to ride it. And he rode it to the track, Supermotoed it all day at the Grange there in Apple Valley, and then rode it away that day. And we were all like, "Dude is the man." Wonder if this guy ever took that thing on the.
Do you think Victor's biting his knuckles?
Probably.
But
mostly because I might be texting someone else and not my true Valentine.
Oh.
What kind of helmet is that on the handlebar? Would that even fit me?
It could be like an HJC or something like that.
Looks good.
It's probably at least a $49 helmet.
DOT.
And Mark Daniel says it could be an IMS 3.2, but I don't know. I don't think so. Victor would usually be in here defending himself left and right, but he's staying back.
If we could zoom in and we could see above the seat, we'd know because remember it was pretty flush. They did make
Honda needs to make that modern XR615 with the shitty Transalp.
I had IMS pegs.
Yeah,
I had
the
pegs.
tank looks pretty stock to me. But So when you were talking about the dipstick temperature thing.
Yeah, I mean that was a mod you could buy.
Well, something that we used to do is we used to drill and tap into the frame and then put a clear hose along the side of the frame, so that you could actually see your oil level in the and it drains out, and then you start up the bike and it would rise back up. So when it was running, you could always see where your oil level was, and also because it was a clear hose, you could see the quality of your oil, and you could see when it was getting dirty. And so Johnny Campbell, 1X International, when they had that company going, used to have that as a mod that we used to do, and it was pretty cool.
What a bike!
Oh, Roost.
Reluctant
Roost.
Okay, cheers.
There's the problem with where he's at right there, because I know where it's at. Those are fun to ride around those rocks, but all the hoop-de-doos in that valley are just endless hoop-de-doos.
Well, doesn't make you a better rider.
Hoop-de-doos?
Yeah.
When you're a 14-year-old kid.
You go to the side of them, don't you? I learned that in your school. You just go to the side.
Yeah, I try to go around them, but when you go around them and you hit the other set of hoops that's right next to them, that's not very good.
Yeah.
You have any more?
Yep. This last one is from. Why isn't it showing?
Maybe it's from Johnny.
They're claiming that it's. They're claiming
We need
that
Johnny
it's,
Rotten's.
T Flannel
Oh.
says it's stopped.
There we go.
Shoot.
All right.
A real bike.
So this is from some guy I never heard before, Trevor Hunter. 2020 KX 450 with 22 hours. TM Design Works slide and guide kit. TM Design Works rear disc guard. Carbon skid plate. Ride Engineering triple clamps. New chain and sprockets. New Dunlop front / with a Maxxis rear tire. And this is Roost Endo and for sale.
Wow. Looks
It's
like
for
he took
sale.
a picture
Yep.
with a depth lens on his iPhone or something.
Yeah, it's shot in his front yard. There's somebody's roof on the seat. You can't
Is that
tell.
his toy box
can't
right
tell
there?
this-
He might have pulled it out of the toy box, though.
just to shoot the photo. At least he opened the exposure up a little bit so you can kind of see the bike, but it's a little distorted. Not very good.
Looks like a great bike.
Oh, it's a really nice bike. I rode one. I don't think I rode
Green.
that one.
Team Green, let the good times roll, right?
How did it? What year was it again?
20.
It's a 20.
Didn't need his phone to go to the track? Did he need his phone to go to the track that day?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because I think Callie was one of the first
Oh, no, it's
to,
not.
like,
It's just, it's a 2020 KX 450.
It's a 2020 KX450.
were they one of the first ones to use the phone to tune the bike?
Kawasaki?
Yeah.
No, Yamaha's the only one that does that.
Only one?
Yes, only one.
Thank
Yeah.
God. Yeah, so you can go to the track without even your phone and rip that thing.
By the way, Yamaha, sponsor of the show, the best tuning app known to man.
Oh,
if you have a YZ for the last like literally 10 years, and whether it was the old plug and play tuner you actually had to buy, but now they give you a free app on your phone and you can turn your bike. I can make my YZ 450 or my WR 450 that I'm going to ride tomorrow, hopefully, if I don't have to shuttle a bunch of other bikes out for you to ride. Are we over the 350? Can we move on to other stuff now?
No, yeah, I'm ready to
Okay.
ride the
300
Yamaha.
two-stroke. 300 two-stroke and the Yamaha.
230.
No, you're a little big for that
I
one.
thought we were flat tracking in the morning.
Oh, we'll ride it at the flat track.
No, but yeah, so I'm new to the whole phone tuning thing, and I'm learning about it, and it's amazing that Yamaha does that.
So
So that's awesome.
So yeah, I can make my Yamaha run like every bike that we've already seen, just with a little tuning on the thing.
God, and go on tender right after.
So Tex at Baja Designs came up with a copy of the HRC oil sight tube, and Chris Hernandez, Critter Designs, also created an oil sight tube. So yeah, there's those for the XR650. Trevor is 100% disqualified for even submitting this. I'm not sure whose bike it is that he's trying to sell.
Looks like his.
It looks
Well, it
a
has
nice
his number.
bike.
It has his number on it. It looks like it because it looks like it has new
Did he even give
plastic
a price?
and stuff
Did
on
he give
it.
a price?
Yeah, is there a price?
Yeah, I mean that's a come on.
No price.
I don't.
I didn't get a price.
You didn't get a price.
Hey, if you
what
submitted
did he
it,
pay
you got a
you?
price.
What did he pay you to put that on the show?
He just sent me a text message.
Is he gonna? You get a cut of the commission, or what are we doing here?
Maybe I'll ask for a finder's fee.
Looks like a nice neighborhood where they have good grass and.
It's California. It's like everything's perfect. It's like streets are paved to gold. You know,
California dreaming.
yeah. You know, you live
Let
in
the good
Mammoth.
times roll.
Yeah.
Hey, well, as far as Rooster Endo goes, I would.
Which one wins?
I'll ride that bike.
Which
in a
one
heartbeat.
wins?
I'll ride that Cowie.
Who wins? It's between the first two. So can you refresh my memory?
Of all the bikes that I've seen tonight, that what I would want to get on right now and ride, it would have to be that XR 650. Like right now,
Here's the first.
sun is set.
This was the first one.
Right.
I would want to ride that XR minus the button. If it had a button,
I don't know. Is Victor eligible?
Yeah, he's totally eligible.
Okay.
He's a friend of the show.
So here's the first one.
I would want.
Right?
Here
That's the
is-
KTM 525 with the broken fender.
Here's the second one that had a lot of
This is
mods.
the KTM with a dented pipe.
Yep.
Epic bike. Epic.
And then we had Victor's.
Victor's Honda.
Like if we all had Honda XR 650s right now, it's dark.
I have one.
Okay, we would, dude.
No, we can't go riding because actually one of the problems with my XR 650 is it has the big ignition and stuff in it, and it's messed up the regulator rectifier, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's and I'm not sure why, but I've had wiring problems with this thing, and the wires get hot and then it cooks some things. So yeah,
you
we
would be in
can't.
the garage wrenching. I'd be on that Victor, that Al Baker prepped bike would be ripping right now.
Yeah,
That's what you get for messing with your XR.
Maybe his headlight doesn't work. Victor.
That's a tough one.
IMS 3.2. No, it's a stock tank.
The guy on the DR with the gear guy with the DR 400. That'd probably be a good bike to ride right now. Back to the pizza parlor with the robot delivery service.
No.
Lakeside Casino.
No.
Try to win some money.
No.
He didn't make the cut though.
No, that's a whole different program. We were gonna do like something like best dressed. We talked about this.
Yeah. We told people send us in. We only got
we got one. So you
got one.
I think Jenny would have won best dressed today because she had the Moose racing gear on that matched her goggles, fit her perfect.
And I threw on. I didn't throw on gear. I just threw on.
Yeah, but you're like that.
Clothes. Well, I just had to go shoot some photos.
Ride in your pajamas. Matt came too dressed nicely for his date later, but
Northwest Moto says the XR is pretty sweet. Mark Daniels has 2 XR 650s. You guys are XR 650 leaning in a certain direction.
Gosh, what's better than an XR 650 in the whole world? If it had a button like that KTM, KTM had a button.
Doesn't have a button.
I can kick a bike.
You don't have to kick them that hard.
You park on a hill. You park on a hill and then you just bump start it.
Matt, what are you thinking?
I might be biased because he's my Valentine.
He's not going to key your car tonight.
But that 650 was pretty sweet.
And the 650.
As someone who I think I only have a little bit of time on an XR 650.
Oh my God!
Like maybe one ride.
I got more hours on a 650 XR than
it's
I
either
even have.
It's either that one or the 525. It's either the 650 or the 525.
So I'm actually leaning towards that 525.
Of course you are.
It is your show.
It was a good photo.
Because KTM brought you to Austria to dress up and do the Erzberg.
No, I don't even get. No, I finished Erzberg on gas.
Oh.
I was a factory gas rider. So no KTM, no Austria, no nothing. I don't even go to their new intros.
Is it the auxiliary gas that you think it was on the Ford?
The extra gas?
The extra tube,
The only thing that bothered me about that bike was the auxiliary gas on the fork.
That's what we think it is. It could have been a machete holder.
No, it was a gas tank. It's a gas tank.
I don't know. Ride the red, dude, is all I'm going to say.
An XR650
if Johnny's watching right now, he's going to. You're
the
never
525 is cool too. I'm impressed he's still rocking it. Oh, if you want one, I've got a couple of them for sale.
And he does want to buy your gas tank, so you're just kind of like baiting that whole gas tank.
Yeah,
thing.
now you've just completely shut me down on that one too. Something about that 300 didn't resonate.
So we arm
with me.
wrestle? Is there like an arm wrestling way to like dispute the winner?
Weren't we gonna do something like that at one point or another?
I thought it was just people in the chat having it out.
Oh,
I let the people in the chat do it.
And I think the chat is
so not you and Jenny
mostly
arm wrestling.
650s.
Victor says his gets ridden. Well, I'll tell you what. Every one of those bikes in Rooster Endo tonight looks like they were well used and got ridden. So quick.
If I was gonna throw one in the van, it would definitely be the 2-stroke KTM.
Oh, okay.
And that was just like if I'm gonna just throw one in the van and disappear.
That's what.
But if I was gonna get on a bike right now tonight in the dark and go back to the pizza parlor to finish my pizza, which is a long ride from here, I would want the XR myself.
I wouldn't bother kicking the XR to get to the pizza parlor because it's so close. Because I don't like anything with kickstarters.
I would take the XR. Johnny Campbell.
That's a
ride the red. How many times did he win? Come on.
Who?
Johnny Campbell.
Oh, in Baja?
Yeah.
11 times.
Yeah, come on. XR.
But it was only a few
for
on
XR's
XR 650.
Only, it would be my...
He did it on XR 600s because I rode an XR 600 with him. He did it on XR 650s. And the only reason I rode with him, the first time, was because we were supposed to ride.
Money?
No money. We were supposed to ride the
new money emoji that you push on your phone.
Yet to be seen XR 650. And 2 times I raced with him in Baja, and we were supposed to ride the yet to be seen XR 650. It never appeared. The second time, literally when he showed up on the bike, I didn't know what bike was going to show up. I didn't know if it was going to be the old XR 600 or a new XR 650. And it was another XR 600 showed up. The bike was kind of ready to go, but they just said no. We ended up having to race it in Vegas to Reno later on that year. And then I cartwheeled it.
God, what a tough Rooster Endo's a toughie.
I take it serious.
Oh, I mean, that's why we're still talking about it.
I just don't want to be handing out Taco Mike's money like it's chump change.
No.
Okay, I'm just gonna go straight to what I'm really thinking. The poor guy has a zipped tied together front fender.
Well, a front fender, big
And-
boo-hoo. Like Ronnie Mack would just cut that thing right off. Mac would just cut that thing right off and not even need it. You hit the deer, you just throw it at the deer. Use it as a knife to cut the deer up and make venison.
Yeah.
He was nice enough to at least sew it back together, so that is a plus.
Yeah.
Those fenders aren't cheap either.
And not that I'm playing to the, because this is what happens is if I pick that for this full sole sake of the front fender being split, we're gonna get just tons of guys with rat bikes.
I think it's the button. It has to be the button. I know it's the button and it's the.
What I really liked about that bike too is that it had the saddle, like the bags in the back.
The bags.
So that guy is like he's probably camping with that bike for
He's
all
got
these
his swim
all
trunks
these years.
in there. Or is he? Yeah, he's got the swim trunks in there and all the like snowboard gear.
Brenda likes orange bikes. I wonder if I'm going to lose Victor as a friend if I don't go vote for Victor's bike. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on this thing. I'm almost thinking we should roll it over again.
You could just split it between the two of them, like 100 to one, 100 to the other.
Well, because
that's a really good idea.
Yeah, so 100 to.
What about the modded out KTM, the rich kid's bike?
The 100 will cover the front fender and get me off the hook there, and then I know that Victor, because he could use that.
There's
$100.
no splitting. I don't think that's a.
No, I think we should.
That's not even in the rules. Or like split. Like there has to be a winner.
None
of this like every kid gets a trophy.
Well, we're just rolling it over from last week.
Not like every kid doesn't get a trophy.
Both
One of
those
them has
bikes,
to win.
Both of those bikes are way better than the bikes we got last week. So one of them wins last week, and one of them wins this week.
God, is it the button? Is it going to be the button and the whole like the hydraulic clutch you forgot about, and then the really nice gear bag on the back that you forgot about, and the nice. I saved a couple bucks so I could pay for something else because I zip tied my front fender.
All right, so Ryan
and Victor. Yeah, reach out. We know Victor will reach out. He's probably going to reach out like you were reaching under the table here, checking my plums.
Hey, I got both hands up here.
I know. Good. It's safe.
I didn't know what to do with my hands, but now I figured it out.
Got it.
Okay.
So who wins? There's got to be a winner. None of this like
Ryan and Victor.
Both. Yeah, both.
Every kid gets a trophy. Every kid wins.
Every
kid wins.
The so-called rich kid with that KTM with all the mods on it.
My favorite bike.
That actually he could use the money to buy a new pipe.
He's already got a new bike. Those are just old photos.
New pipe.
He's got a new bike already, I bet.
So we have some comments from some of the videos that we put up on YouTube, and I don't know the answer to this one, but Phenomenonish TTR, that's his name, on my Tour of Idaho video says...
We're already changing the subject.
Oh, we're done with that.
Checks in the mail, Rooster Endo.
It's done, finished. Brought to you by Taco Moto. That's tacomoto.co.
Here's to bushwhack that, bush it up. Everybody wins.
So he says Doug Stanhope. With a question mark on it about my Tour of Idaho video. What does that mean?
I don't know.
That guy's a comedian, right?
Tour of Idaho's old. It's like 2 years, 3 years.
That video?
Yeah, I mean, I watched that a long time ago.
The video's probably 5-6 years old.
I've watched it a bunch of times.
What's Doug Stanhope? Comedian.
I don't know. There's a reason why I don't put those comments on the sheet because I don't know.
Oh, we're just trying to answer questions here. So XT250 all day says he just hit 12,000 miles on his 14 XT250. Not a single problem with the Mountain Goat. The smile to cost ratio is excellent, as you mentioned. Check out my mods and reviews on this fun little moto. So go check out XT250 all day on YouTube because Trevor's going to need those when he races it in a National Hare and Hound and then rides it away and goes camping for a day. He doesn't like the second half of what I just said because he thinks he's just going to ride it out to the National Hare and Hound and race it. But I think he needs to go camping off the bike. James Hall about our Sierra 450 RX versus KX 450X video. It says, what's the better woods bike? His question is, how about we do a comparison video when one bike isn't modified more than the other? How is this even a comparison? Durr.
Apples to apples when you're talking dirt bikes, right?
They were bull. So here's the thing, James. We rode the bikes when they were stock, and then we've made modifications to them as they've gone along. A lot of times the modifications kind of have to do with like where Trevor's going to go race it, or what he's going to do with them. So they try these different things. So we kind of have a spectrum of it. And the reason we don't just do it and we do some things stock to stock, and sometimes we do things stock versus modified or in different phases of modifications. The modifications a lot of times are to address issues. So maybe a bike that has less modifications doesn't need as many modifications. So it's a comparison. And this is the YouTubes and the internets, and we can do whatever we want. What is it? Give me thumbs up.
Resting my arm over here.
Okay, it's better than where it was before. Keter Tingus says, can you guys drum up a video on the 2023 version of the KTM 390 Adventure SW? What does SW mean?
I watched a bunch of videos on the 390 Adventure this week.
And probably look all the mods over, please. It's been a while. Well, if you look at the new KTM Adventure, they did a lot of the same mods that we did to our bike. Mm-hmm. They put the spoke wheels on and a couple other things. No, probably not. We can't drum up a video like that. The drumming.
It seems like the videos that I watched, the only videos. Well, the one guy, I can't remember his name on YouTube, but that's all he really did was put spoke wheels on it, which, hey, what the heck? What do you want to like adjust your spokes all the time? If you're riding that bike for what it's meant to be ridden like and for, those mag wheels are just fine.
Oh, yeah, you're okay. Why are you such a fan of mag wheels?
You're going to bend your wheels if you're riding it outside of its because once again, I just spent a couple months down in Nicaragua riding. And within probably 2 to 3 weeks of riding in the sand on the beach and the salt and the heat, you can't even you can't tighten your spokes anyway. There's nothing that, they're just squeak. They're going to be hard to clean. And then that's a great bike. And sure, you can put different wheel sizes. And of course, spoke wheels are better if you have the money. But you can ride that bike pretty well off-road as well as on-road and have an amazing time bone stock.
Yeah, they're good little bikes, but generally the cast wheels are not as strong.
Oh, of course.
Size of the rims, but
well, go blast your freaking foot pegs off that thing and then go bottom it out and blow your whole entire feet off the pegs.
There's plenty of stuff that'll break.
If you
but
ride that thing the wrong way.
It's funny because nobody thinks about I'm going to be riding in really salty, horrible conditions.
Even if you
spokes.
If you G that bike out and it doesn't have the best ground clearance, that bike.
No, if you're
with or without the wheels.
It's hard to. If you're riding it the way it was intended to be ridden, you're probably going to have a hard time hitting the skid plate. But it wouldn't be that hard to hit potholes on a road and bend the rims and then it's. True. But at that point, if you're just hitting potholes, the cast, the mag wheels are not really all that much stronger than a spoked wheel.
Right.
For that's a pretty catastrophic sharp hit. So in that thing, but if you're off road and you're kind of hitting rocks and stuff, that kind of a hit, more off road, the non-spoked wheels tend to bend just a little bit easier. Actually, quite a bit easier. When you get them off to the side and you get it where the mag spoke isn't there. But
I would say if you're buying that bike, you better just ride it normal, nice, smooth. Be selective at what you hit and ride. If you're riding it off road and you're out in the middle of nowhere, you're going to ride it accordingly. Read the room. You put a set of wheels on there, you might ride it at, a little above it. What are you going to throw some pegs on there? Nice skid plate. I mean, how much can you do to that bike really to make it better for?
You can do a lot to it, but at some point it just becomes polishing a pig.
Exactly what I was coming.
You're just going down a thing where you should have got a different bike. Exactly. At that point, with the interesting thing with the KTM 390 in particular,
I love that bike. I think it's one of the neatest bikes they make.
It's a smaller chassis. It's a tinier bike. It's a lot less weight. It's a really durable engine package. It's a lot of things that there's not a whole lot else in that market. It's sort of in a world where you could buy a CRF 300 Rally or the XT250 like the other viewer was saying. There's a lot of bikes in that market, but the 390 is kind of like the higher end of that, the least stressed of those. All the other ones you're going to be, just to get it to run like the 390 does, you're going to be spending a lot of money on the motors. And at that point, like if you want more motor, just go find something more in the 500, 650 range.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's the same. The KTM 390 is the same speed as a KLR 650.
I mean, in my quiver, I want a KTM 390. I think it'd be a fun bike to have. And I personally, as a 250-pound kook, I would ride it bone stock and rip that thing everywhere and just be mindful of the fact that it's a stock 390, and that's why I bought it.
So David Doyle says, "Are you guys going to do another video on the KX?" Yeah, you made the point. You made the point.
That's me.
When are you going to do another video on the KX 450X? I'm just torn between the two, and he's comparing it to the Yamaha. Well, David, there's really no choice that you need to make other than to get the Yamaha, because Yamaha does sponsor the show. I'd like to thank Yamaha.
I love Yamaha.
Because with that Kawasaki, you get a couple of these little plugs that are really nice, and you can plug them in and change them out. But the Yamaha, you just call up your phone, and you get
your girlfriend's phone.
Yeah, use your girlfriend's phone.
Anybody's phone.
And NVMC Rider says, get the Yamaha. He says the reliability of the Yamaha is the best, and you can't break them. Well, I'll say yes. You can do that. If you're taller or a big guy, the KX is the ticket, says Jim Haywood. Adjustable pegs and bar positions, hydro clutch. I love mine. Reliability is the same as the Yami. Also got one. It's in the shop right now. So that's what. So we did do a bunch of videos on that bike, Dave. There's individual opinions from a lot of the riders. We had some old guys ride them. We had some kids ride them. There's plenty of videos out there if you're kind of trying to make your decision. And let us know what you finally decide, and then tell us whether we are right.
You can't really go wrong with either. Like, they're both pretty solid.
Hold on,
bikes.
you got to compare it to this stuff here. Mark, try this. Okay. Just try that a little bit. Steve Diosdado says, "Thank you for actually pointing out and acknowledging how horrible the Kawasaki Airbox air filter design is. In 2021, I bought 2 KX 450s and 2 KX 250s for my kids and I. This year, I swapped the whole fleet to Yamahas, and with the ease of air filter maintenance being a major factor, some other big factors for choosing the Yamaha were free Power Tuner app, and also Yamaha offers free downloadable service manuals, not just the owner's manuals, through the company's website." Well, Steve, thanks for doing my ad copy for me. Wow, and like the other stuff's really good, right?
Wow, yeah. Love Yamaha.
Yeah.
I was listening. I was listening.
See, that bottle had the blue cap, and this one has the green cap. So this is kind of going contrary to what our discussion is talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next question. It says, Searbar says, "I have a 2017 YZ450F. I hate it so much. Haha. Mostly run trails and desert. I wonder if these ones are smoother with crawl control and with high gears. I'm putting a 2-stroke engine in mine." So this is a YouTube comment. This is the kind of comments you get on YouTube.
Yeah. That's a fun question. He's kind of trying to be fun.
Oh, okay. I try to be serious, but fun.
I mean, you got to, once again, apples to apples, 450.
So he has a 17 YZ450F, and he's comparing it to our YZ450FX, our 2023. And
wow, it's a toughie.
Well, it is tough because the motor platforms, the motors changed, the architecture of the motors changed, but they're kind of the same. And the YZ power delivery is much different than the FX power delivery, just stock for stock. But either of those bikes, you can change and make into. You can make your YZ run like an FX and your FX run like a YZ easily. So they are in the good thing about the newer one is it does have the push button, which is another Yamaha thing. On the fly push button map change.
And the FX has the same geometry in the fork.
It's
same wheelbase, minus 18.
Right.
Kickstand if you want.
It has a kickstand. It has
Does it
all
have the
that
plug and play light. Can you put a light on it at all?
You would have to wire it directly to the battery. If you want lights, you have to go to the WR platform.
So motor tuning wise,
you can make it do anything you want.
Phone home.
I don't know that the 17 can adapt to the. I don't believe it can adapt to the map switching. It's a kind of a different ECU and stuff.
Gosh.
But if you know what you want and you don't need to switch, you can make your 17 run almost as good as the 23. I mean very
that's almost
close.
a 6-year-old bike.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's like a hard 6 years. Get a new bike. Get the new one.
Yeah, get a new Yamaha. YamahaMotorsports.com.
I mean, I say get a new one. Don't even try to figure it out.
Because you could be like Bad Karma, who says he absolutely loves his 23.
Well, I bet he does. So it's always just little down, little a month. I used to just go to the shop. I would buy the bike. I'd pay the payment for a year, maybe a year and a half. I'd sell the bike for what it was worth and get the new one before I had to put a bunch of money into it to try to keep, hey, it's a great way to build credit. That Yamaha financing. Go to your favorite shop. Little down, little a month. You got the best new one. You don't even have to ask these questions.
You'd already know because you'd be owning it.
You have the new one.
All right. So
nobody knows anything about.
John Linkowski on my on my 2020 KTM 300 XCW full test video says one of the best reviews on this bike. Well, thanks, John. Too bad I can't ride the new ones. Not really sure why.
2020 was a great year to buy a bike. That was when everybody was stuck at home, buying stuff.
I had to wear.
You probably rode the heck out of that bike.
I had to wear. I had to wear a mask at that intro.
You probably didn't even care. You're wearing a mask anyway.
Yeah. Well, I usually just kept my helmet on the whole time.
I liked wearing a mask. I didn't have to brush my teeth.
Oh boy, Will Mosman, how does your 23 KTM stack up to the bikes in this comparison? I was actually a little bit surprised when it wasn't included in the test. Well, Will, we didn't have a 23 KTM in the comparison because KTM would not give us a bike to test. So that's the reason it's not in there. So how does it compare? Well, it's very similar to the gas, but there are some differences, and I don't know whether it would have been better or worse because we didn't test it. Mm-hmm. So
if they would have given you one.
Yeah.
I didn't see any gas bikes in your garage today.
There's no gas. And, I have a gas trials bike in my shipping container.
And
Yeah, I have a gas.
Do you still have the offset?
Oh, the electric?
OSET.
No, I don't have an OSET.
Was it an OSET trials?
I have an OSA.
OSA.
Jimmy can ride a trials bike. I've seen him.
Yeah, I've ridden one before.
Oh, yeah, a lot. You only have one gas? No beta, no.
I used to have a beta. So
Montesa.
Yeah,
no Montesa.
Hey, on our show, Moto Funk says I met Danny Hamill once randomly and had an obsession that has stuck with me ever since. It was 1993 at Spangler Hills on a Saturday before a Hare and Hound. I was out prepping a bike for the next day and stopped at the base of the hills to rest and take in the view. I could see another rider coming my way at a speed that if you ever saw it, you would immediately get your attention. As he got closer, it was obvious it was Danny. The body language plus the speed was unique, plus the sound was different. He was on a KLX 650, the 4-stroke, which is interesting. Actually, I remember when we got those.
Probably had a blinker. With a blinker on?
Yep.
You never even turned the blinker off?
Yeah, he was out. Basically, what he goes on to tell me that he got to hang around with Danny. He was out there with Bones from Pro Circuit, and they were out doing suspension testing on the 650. And he says the observation I had while we were talking is that his hands were massive and his fingers looked like they were double thickness, like a 30-year-old manual labor hands. Ever since that, I've thought that had a big part with his ability to maintain that body position that he was known for. I can tell you about this in a second. On Jimmy's comment about how he could never figure out how Danny was so fast. No, I know how Danny was fast. I don't think there were more than 5 people that knew how fast he could go. Very few ever got to match the speed with him for any amount of time. Back then, there was no video cameras, no onboard footage, etc. If you caught a glimpse of it, it was just that. Back then, you couldn't learn how fast was possible, which is true. Today, that is a big advantage. Not that seeing a helmet cam video from Danny would have helped anyone, but it would have shown how fast he really was. Well, like anything, I think video footage never shows you
never does it justice.
Doesn't do it justice. I mean, whether it's your kid hucking himself how far out of a quarter pipe last Saturday?
Oh, dude, 20 feet. I only saw it on TV, but yeah.
20 feet out, yeah.
Out of a 28-foot pipe, 50 feet
to
flat.
50 feet of air.
But no, back to Danny Hamill, I did witness him at a district race in Johnson Valley one or two times actually at the Bomb, and it was it's unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. So
guy could twist it.
I think the last show we were talking about like his standing up riding position, and somebody kind of credited him with that riding position, and there was other guys that were doing that before, standing up forward over the bike. That's just how you need to ride when you're going fast. You can't ride over the back very fast for very long. It's going to catch up with you. But what Danny had that most people didn't was his eyesight. He could see stuff when he was going that fast, and I think even like when I was explaining what I think like someone like Jet Lawrence has, I think their CPU, their computer processing speed in their brain it's like one level faster than everybody else's. Yeah. And they're just doing things that they're not
and I can't even read this.
They're not spending any energy working about the minutia. They're thinking about other stuff. All the other sub processors are handling all this stuff. And yeah, Danny was as big and strong as an ox, and that for sure helped, especially when stuff started going wrong. But in reality, stuff didn't go wrong that much for him because he would see it a lot quicker before it would happen. I'd be riding with him, like whether we were pre-running a Baja or just out goofing around in the desert, going really fast, and I'm like, I have to slow down because I can't go any faster because I can't see. And we would ask him. I mean, I remember Dan Smith asking him the same thing. He's like, "Can you see when you're going that fast because your eyes are getting rattled around in your skull?" He's like, "Yeah, I see fine." So I think vision had a huge part to do with it, and then just being a little bit stronger. So yeah, Moto Funk
and riding his whole life.
Yeah, he was riding. He was good at it.
The best.
Yeah. Was there a crash in one of our videos? A 450 off-road comparison?
I don't even see how you can see this and ride as good as you do, Jim.
Depends on what comparison video. I don't remember there being a crash.
Yeah, I don't either. Somebody said the crash at 510 was laugh my ass off.
The 510. If you click on it, it'll actually take you to that.
I can't watch a video while I'm doing the show. Come on, Matt. It's like texting and driving. You don't do that, do you?
No, I don't.
Oh, practice makes perfect. I got a self-driving Tesla.
What was the glass model of that Baja Design spotlight you installed? We did this, so we're back to the ones we did last time. That was a Squadron or a Squadron Pro. I'm not really sure which one. So, anyways, that's it, Marco. We've done a whole show here at the studio.
You answered every question?
Yeah, that's it. We're plumb out of question. Chris Dabney says, do KXs still have a big weak ends on the rod? Have weak big ends on? I don't really think so.
Where are you reading that?
Up on the comments up there. It's kind of like
you got good eyes, Jim.
They're okay. They don't do too bad.
Well, the one thing
Matt,
that
you
I
got a date, don't you? I've
one
never
thing that
seen.
I've always
never
learned-
seen you prep that screen before.
Trying
Matt
to up the
does look
efficiency
good.
here.
We going down to Sherry's Ranch for a beer?
No,
buy.
I got to work tomorrow.
Yeah, I gotta work. Are you gonna dress sharp for work? Are you on some sort of video conferencing call or?
No, this is just.
You got to get a shot of Matt. You got to get Matt on screen tonight, so everybody can see Matt, how good he looks.
Have you ever dressed up like if you didn't have to go
I have
someplace?
a white shirt on. Look at this. It doesn't have any like hot sauce on it.
No,
I
I'm
have
talking
a
about
hat
just
on.
you're just gonna
I'm
be
dressed up.
You're gonna let's just say for
I
some
dressed
reason
up.
you're gonna have a big day of let's just say waxing skis. I mean, you would never wax skis. Let's just say you're gonna wax skis in the garage and you want to feel good about it. Would you? Put on a nice collared shirt and some slacks.
Well, when you're a good-looking kid, you got to dress to impress. I mean, he's got his shirt. Is it buttoned down like two or one buttons down?
That's 2 buttons down.
The people wanted a price on Trevor's bike.
Well, he was asking how many offers he has.
Oh, how many offers he has?
Yeah,
I think if Matt's dressed up, he's ready to make you an offer.
yeah. I'll brokerage a deal for you.
We're not going to buy fireworks tonight dressed like that, Matt.
He's not buying fireworks here.
No, I'll
Does your girlfriend know you're dressed like that right now?
She does.
Is she nervous?
I'm surprised nobody had any pit bike questions for you, Jimmy. Does everybody know that you're a pit bike guru still? Not just you and Carson Brown, but just do they know you ride all kinds of weird little bikes and do weird stuff and have an oval track prepped for tomorrow morning after breakfast? We're going to do laps on, and we're going to ride XRs and TTRs. And
some things are better left quiet a little bit.
I didn't see a Honda Navi in the garage, and I didn't see a Honda Grom in the garage, but Honda, if you're listening, I mean, you need to send Jimmy a couple of those bikes because the Navi, when I was in Nicaragua, the Honda Navi, have you seen one? It's a belt driven.
So that's the touring Grom essentially.
I would see 2 or 3 German backpackers on one of those mobbing. Minus the bad thing about them is they're tubeless. So if you get a punche, which is how you say punch tire in Spanish, punche, you're screwed. You need a tube or tubeless setup. But the Navi is amazing. It's absolutely the neatest little bike Honda makes. I don't know where they make it.
So they have now, and this is really hard for me because they trained me to not say XR anymore. They said everything's CRF, and now they're bringing back the XR 150, which is street legal in the U.S.
I want to ride that bike.
Yeah,
I want to. I'm a 250-pound test contender for that bike.
They were looking up in the Mammoth area for someplace to do the intro, and I think they went up there and realized what altitude does to 150cc fuel injected.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out. We got Jenny to be our crash test.
Jenny would rip on that thing.
Jenny will rip it. We got some neat spots where we can do some really neat photos and tests. But the Honda Navi and the Honda Grom. What a couple neat little mini bikes, and I can't believe you don't have a couple of them.
The CT110,
dude,
that thing, whatever
surf
that thing
racks
is.
on a Navi.
Now.
Surf racks on a Honda Navi. That's like Nicaragua, Costa Rica. You can't go anywhere without seeing hundreds of them everywhere. Every single person has one, and everybody down here's got a Saran or a Rad Rover.
Someone wants me to put all my for sale bikes on the next show with the story behind each. They're all a bunch of rental bikes. They're well maintained. Just buy them and make them go away.
Or come rent them. Come rent them. The best high performance vehicle is a borrowed one.
I need to get my rental business going where you can rent a KTM 390 and ride down to Death Valley, stay in that nice little trailer.
Or to Mammoth and stay at my house. You send them to Mammoth. We'll go hot tubbing, dipping with the hippies, and
you have to kick all the kids out of your house, though.
Yeah, they'll ride those bikes.
Yeah, I know they will.
As soon as they're parked, we'll get on them. Best high performance vehicles, a borrowed one, and thanks, Jimmy, for letting me ride your bikes today.
Okay, Marco, thanks for coming in and joining us on the show. Thank you, Matt.
Are you going to do a shot? Are we going to do a shot before we leave?
I already did mine. I had a sip. Oh, all good.
Anyway,
3 hours. So
nobody likes a quitter.
Thanks to Jenny. She was here, but I think she had to go pass out.
That massage chair took her out.
Yeah.
Fabio.
One and done. Yeah.
Fabio took her out.
That happens. And thanks to everybody that commented. Show us. Brenda wants to see the hotness. Matt. Yeah. Maybe they're gonna. Why don't you do an Instagram post or something like that? Do something like on the gram and put it up there.
If people want to follow me on Instagram.
Well, on Instagram or just on Dirt Bike Test one. A nice, well-dressed man goes over a long ways on dirt bike test. So,
Yeah.
okay, everybody. Victor, good to see you again. Congratulations. I hope we're still friends, even though I cost you $100 tonight. 100 more than you could have made.
Yep.
And with that, we will see you on the show next